Okay, so apologies to all the viewers this evening for my late arrival. Fortunately, long story short, I've got 2 rooms and my TV's broken, so I'm currently sharing with the family. So, safety car coming in. And it's Ross in the Haas who's going to take us to the line ahead of Kinderest in the Mercedes and Jamshed's in the Ferrari. And we also have Nurkic in 4th. So there's DRS obviously isn't still available as of yet, but that's not stopping the Mercedes from steaming right through the Haas as Kinder takes the lead. A yellow flag already. Oh, what a mess. Look at that, 4 cars just reversing into each other, smashing each other up. Shambles. It's probably a good thing in hindsight that I've not been available to commentate earlier in the race, as we currently see. In 7 retirements, so dare I say we're going to have more in these last 12 laps. So, we do actually have 4 racers who managed to get clear of the quandary that has happened now. We've got a yellow flag once again. That's Moe and Ham Sandwich going side by side. Excuse me. Still a yellow flag in sector 2. But we'll ignore that for now. As we go on board with our race leader, who has already opened up a 1.1 second gap over Ross. So he's not going to be available to use the DRS, although he has got inside a second just now. That's the thing with the circuit. Rodrigo Hermanos Rodriguez, the long straight, does lend itself to good drag down the main straight to catch the car ahead. Seems like we already got another yellow flag in sector 3, unfortunately. There's RFC goes into the pits. New front wing for him. Dale, who's been in fine form more recently, unfortunately found himself standing 9th. Obviously still scoring points for the team there. He's been the lone Alfa Romeo this weekend. So Duncan, who's got himself in a chance of the championship, and these chances are going to be harmed not at all by the retirement of Phantom Nug. So that's the first retirement I've had for him since I started commentating. Just fortunate that we did actually miss it. So that's the Martin team currently in 3rd and 7th. Good haul of points so far for them. And the lone Ferrari Jamsheds with quite a handy gap to our Charlie, who appears to be missing the front wings. There's quite a big gap between the first 4 cars, really. And I think, unless we get more interruptions, it's just going to be these 4 battling for the lead, as DRS is available for Duncan. Is he going to be able to get closer to Ross in the Haas? Not the Sloppy is not. As you can see, he's sporting a helmet change from his usual red, gone to yellow for this race. Don't know what it's a tribute to, but anyway, DRS wide open. Yellow flag sector 3. No, the DRS still isn't open. Might just be a visual issue there. It might be open as he runs wide coming out of turn 5. Very much like a Lando Norris helmet, actually. Okay, so the front 3 appears to have opened a bit of a gap here as well, so Jamshed is fell 3 seconds behind Duncan at this time. So the front 3, 10 laps to go. Who is going to break clear and stake a claim for this race win at the prestigious Hermanos Rodriguez circuit here in Mexico City? As you see, Kinder is now opened up a 1.3 second gap. Looking for a win. The Mercedes team, recent performances haven't been of the standard they require. Going to Toto Wolff in his pre-race interview, where here comes the Mercedes powered Aston Martin, blasting straight past Ross in the Haas. And Duncan will be hoping now that he can open a gap to the car behind, because he really doesn't want to be distracted in his efforts to try and overhaul the Mercedes in the front, and the gap has already opened up to 8 tenths. And he does have the aid of DRS still because he was in the zone and he was catching masses already. As you can see, he's already managed to close up 8 tenths to Kinder. So I wonder if the tyres, which the Aston Martin is on at this point, appear to be performing a lot better. Managed to get a lot of heat, more grip as well, as we can see as he snakes through the complex there, left right up to the baseball stadium. Just needs to be a bit cautious and running wide. Both of them do, because they don't want to give too many penalties away for the race victory away. Kinder has just acquired a 3-second time penalty, so he's going to be pushing for the race win now, and he will not want to get out of the way to let the car past. I think anybody in this position would be fighting tooth and nail to try and regain the position, but it looks like Duncan's going to go alongside. Oh, I've gone too far down. And Duncan straight into the race lead, but Kinder is going to stay in the tow of the Aston Martin, trying to get that opportunity again, this time next lap. He just needs to try and stay as close as he can to the lead driver. So Duncan, with 8 laps to go, sets his claim to take the win here in Mexico City. So we're down to 10 drivers. The focus at the moment will be with the lead 2. So Kinder, so far so good for himself, staying within 6 tenths of Duncan, the race leader, to go through the very slow section. Yellow flags again, one in sector 3 down the main straight. I believe that's Dill and RFC, looking at the track map. So the gap has now gone up to 8 tenths. So Kinder just needs to be quite careful. He just needs to make sure he doesn't acquire any more track penalties, potentially try and put the pressure on Duncan. So the Mercedes driver looks to have DRS down the main straight. Let's see if he can make any inroads to the race leader. You see Duncan there snaking left and right, trying to break the toe, and unfortunately his teammates are tired, ham sandwich, and Duncan will be hoping, and as battle the safety car, massively unfortunate there. So that is the 8th retirement of the race, and it's not going to do his teammate any favours whatsoever. I'm sure he'd have had a sprint to the end of the race, but it's going to bring the pack up together. And the problem with that, especially for these 3 who are looking on course for a podium, is going to bring the likes of Charlie, Merkage, Moe, Dill and RFC all into contention. Now we all know that these are all capable of getting podiums and wins as well, so stay with us here, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to have a fantastic finale of 3 or 4 potential sprint race laps. As we can see, the drivers who've got an opportunity to put a different set of tyres on, I wonder if they're putting the softs on. I'm sure I would be if I was in that position, nothing to lose. It's just, yeah, they have. So as you can see, Duncan's got 7 lap all mediums, so his performance against the likes of Kinder and Ross after the safety car, fully warranted. I was going to say I'd be surprised if we don't come in, but they do have an opportunity for a pit stop here. I imagine Jams will also be coming in. James Shids. Yep, he comes in. So who's close enough to... No, I don't think they're going to be jumped. Yeah, so everyone's putting on the softs apart from Jam Shids. He probably just hadn't had any softs available, so... That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Once the safety car comes in, they're going to have a sprint race to the end. Everyone's going to have fully charged DRS. They're going to be reducing the fuel load, so when these safety car does come in, it's just going to be a race to the finish, and in prime position is Duncan at present. Give it a second. Ross in 3rd, Jamshed's 4th, Charlie in 5th. He's showing more and more consistent performance at the moment. Charlie definitely turned into really solid pair of hands in that Alpine team. Potentially one to look out for next season. As well as Moe, I don't think he's performed as good as he probably could. He just needs to try and support his teammate here and get some more points. As well as Merkage, one to watch. He might be too far back at this point, but you have a real leafing out here in the Mayhem F1 League. OC in the Red Bull. Solid, if unspectacular. Looking like he's going to get some points. And Dill finally running out the top 9. So all they need to do is maintain running and they're going to get points. So I'm going to be in for a fascinating finale to the race. What I'm looking forward to. So we just run down the retirees. So the first one to go was Bevan in the McLaren. Yeah, Phantom Nug, unfortunately the championship leader, retiring in the Ferrari. Kieran once again retiring. I think every race we've commentated on so far, Kieran's unfortunately retired. Shifter Two-Face as well in the Red Bull. Ashwin in the AlphaTauri. Instinct unfortunately in the Williams. Trico in the McLaren, and more recently Ham in the Aston Martin. So quite a few big hitters who retired from this race. So yeah, there's going to be a handy amount of points up for grabs here. I think we're probably going to have one more lap behind the safety car just to ensure everybody's all bunched up. Unless the likes of Dylan RFC can catch the snake now, it'll be coming in. And then Duncan becomes a safety car. This is it. This is what happens in Formula 1. You need to be in the race. Of course you need to be in the race. you need to have a ticket. I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. As long as you're still running, you know, forget the last 31 laps. They're irrelevant now. What we've got is potentially a 4-5 lap sprint as a safety car coming in. So we are going to do decency here and stay on board with the race leader as he's trying to back the pack up. Kinder trying to get alongside there. Ross is in with a shout now. They're all on the soft, so performance is going to be at a premium for all 9 drivers. And we've already had an issue, and Ross and Kinder, oh no, the 2 gentlemen who were in second and third, shambles, absolute shambles. At least get it down the main straight, lads, fucking hell. So Duncan leads these 7 cars down to turn 1. The flag's obviously in sector 2 through the departed racers. There's Merkage, as I was talking about how dangerous he could be coming from 7th. He's now got himself in the podium positions. And Jamsheds, who just a few laps ago was running 4th, he was well behind the front 3 and now got himself in this position. This is what happens in these races. You just need to make sure you can still attack, still make sure you're running, because you know incidents can happen. You can be involved in incidents, and this goes to show what it can do just to be consistent. And I think now, so the DRS has already been broken. Obviously there's a difference in the compound of the tyres. Duncan's obviously on the softs, whereas Jamshed's is on the mediums. So Merkage only 6 tenths behind. So the Alpine driver can definitely smell a win at the moment. And Lowy, he'll be looking to avenge his teammate there. So into lap 34, 3 laps to go. Duncan increasingly looking like the man to beat. Gap of 1.7 now over the medium running Jamsheds. He's going to be under pressure from the AlphaTauri of Merkage. Down into turn 4 they go. He's not going to send it up the inside. No, he's going to be a little bit more circumspect than that. I think he's probably going to leave it to the DRS zone down the main straight. He's ducking and diving left and right all over the gearbox of that Ferrari, desperate to get through, because he can see in the distance Duncan is getting further and further away. The gap is now over 2 seconds. Using up a lot more of the racetrack as well. There's a Mercury in the Alpine, obviously has a lot more grip, a lot more confidence in that car, a lot more trust in the tyres. Obviously Jean-Michel appears to just be struggling a little bit there in the braking zones. Mercury's using all the track. He's almost pushing the Ferrari through there. He's going to break out right, is he, to go through? Yeah, he's waited right to the DRS zone active. Yellow flag in sector 2. Hopkin does not try to retire his car. Nah. He's still running. He knows he's going to get points if he can just finish the race. It might not be the haul he was after, but he's still going to get some points. As in lap 35. We got lap 34, 36, sorry. So the race leader Duncan. Jams's managed to get ahead of Merkic there actually, so he did lose position and got back ahead, so he's making full use of the track available. RC, fantastic recovery drive from him, and he was down in 9th at one point. Oh no, I spoke too soon. Oh god. Commentator's curse, do apologise my mate. And you'll be too pleased when you watch this back. Not only did I catch it. Oh well. Oh, look at Dill. Dill didn't have a nose. However, so I don't think the drivers are too keen on this circuit actually. Lucy Kinder coming out ahead of Duncan, the race leader. Weaving left and right. I don't actually know why he's doing that. Hopefully he's not going to do anything stupid like intentionally try and take people out. But who knows, in the Mayhem Racing League. Anything can happen, and it usually does. Okay, so as you can see, people just carrying on with broken front wings. Okay, they lose position by the looks of it. So Merkic has gone purple in both sectors, so he's 3 seconds behind Duncan. He'll be hoping to try and catch up. I think he might run out of laps actually. As yellow flag sector 2. Not quite sure what he's up to. Just pulled over. He's letting them through. You had blue flags, of course. Okay, so it's Mercedes 7th and 8th. It's not quite the haul of points they're looking at a couple laps ago. Anyway. Okay, so just showed you how fast it could turn around at one point. Charlie Merkic running in 5th and 7th, and now running 2nd and 4th, getting some very handsome points for the team indeed. As in the last lap we go, fastest lap, the extra point goes to Merkic Bliss in the Alpine, but the gap I feel maybe is too big for him to close up. Okay. It's quite amusing actually that RSC, Dell and Maui are all continuing without a front wing, all desperate to ensure the other doesn't get points off them. They'd rather struggle. It's only been a couple laps anyway, I do understand, but it's still rather amusing. Anyway, let's not do our race leader any injustice, as unfortunately Charlie picks up a 3-second time penalty, but I do not think it's going to affect his race whatsoever. The fireworks go off in the baseball stadium as to the line comes the Aston Martin driver for another race victory. He's popped his cherry and now he's popped another one as Duncan takes the victory here at the Arrigo Hermanos Rodriguez circuit in Mexico City. Fantastic victory. for the Aston Martin team. Green is the colour, and green is the colour of Mexico. Fantastic performance from him. In second, we have Jean-Pierre in the Ferrari, backing up his most recent results. Another consistent performance from him. And on the podium, as we speculated, he might be a chance of one, and he has taken one with Merkic in third place in the Alpine, Charlie in fourth in the other Alpine, RSC without a front wing in fifth, Dylan MCR backing up his more recent form of solid point finishes in sixth. And that concludes the Mayhem Racing League round at Mexico. Hope you join us next week for the season finale at Interlagos, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Thank you very much.